funny way of transitioning everything. You know, that testimony about being on Briscoe and not wanting to be on Briscoe.
That's right.
And then this man right here, Chaplain Saturday, scooped me up and he wouldn't turn me loose, and I ended up being on Briscoe as a steward, and then eventually I was the inside rector for 2 of the Briscoe weekends. So
It's the Lacorey. You take it from here.
all right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Lacorey Howard, and I first got introduced to Kairos in 2003. Like I said, I was on the Torres unit under Chaplain Gates. I don't even know if he's in the Yates, brother. I don't know if he's still in the system working as a chaplain. But real quickly, the first thing I want to let you know, I want every one of you to know that you're doing an awesome service for God, tremendous service. I just had the opportunity to be on Terford number 2 in New Boston, Texas, and I don't know if you even heard about the Terford unit. It was one of the worst units in the state of Texas. At one time, they had no educational system, no GED, nothing. It was considered gangland. And that warden, at the end of the weekend, he got up, and like I said, it was the second time that Kairos had come in there. He just really gave a praise to the Kairos community, because it is really, and even though it had just started getting in the unit, the atmosphere was starting to just change over that unit. And I'm one of those guys, when I got incarcerated, I did 17 and a half years. And when I got incarcerated in the state of Texas, there was no safe prisons. There were not a lot of ministries coming in. And I was a product of my environment. I was just dark, in a dark place. I was bitter. A lot of, like Roger know my testimony, I had became racist. Had got involved in what's considered a gang, but you know, in prison you have this sophistication, you call it an organization or a family, if you will. And we did everything under the sun in prison: extortion, selling drugs, recruiting young men who were lost, needed some type of identity or sense of belonging. I did that, and at the time that I got the invitation to go to Kairos, I didn't understand. I didn't know why. I didn't submit I-60. Someone had submitted my name. I went to the chaplain's department and I had told him, you made a mistake. I don't know what Kairos is. I don't want to know. I don't want to attend. I can't imagine sitting around some free world people who would probably look down on me, think I was the scum of the earth. No, thank you. He told me to reconsider. I told him I pretty much made up my mind, and he said, well, I'm going to leave you on the list, and I hope you show up. Well, other guys who had been in my shoes over the years, but had come to God, who have changed their lives, who had been a part of Kairos, they started coming to me because they knew they could come to me on a level that I wouldn't reject them or be abusive towards them, and I listened to them. And so I said, well, what do I have to lose? I went down that Thursday and met my sponsor and got my name tag and sat down, and we did the whole spiel. And I'm here to tell you right now, that was one of the best things that I ever did in prison. I never cried so much. I come to terms, and I sat at a table with guys that I had been enemies with on the unit, guys that I knew that were racist, had been racist just like I had. But the Kairos love, the Kairos, just all in all, the volunteers came in, and I didn't feel nothing resentful towards them, or I didn't seem to receive that from them either. It was just love, the hugging and the letters. It was just awesome. I was lost. I got up that night to give a few words, and I know if any of you been on that, I got choked up and couldn't understand it. But the greatest thing about it was the connection that maintained. Those volunteers that wouldn't let me go, we corresponded, and they were always checking to see how I was. So as time passed, I left the Torres unit. I had a great transformation in my mind. I had got involved in college. I got my associate's degree from Southwest Texas Junior College on the Torres unit in Hondo. And then I put in to get my bachelor's degree, start working on that. Program came up, Sul Ross State University in Briscoe. I was trying to go to Huntsville to Sam Houston State University to work and try to get a psychology degree. I got on the Briscoe unit and I was mad. I had slipped back into bitterness. I witnessed to Roger. I went down at a prayer and share to just know that, to just get back in touch with what I had felt, the love from the Torres unit. And we sat there and talked, and he ministered to me and told me, you know, God doesn't make mistakes. You're on the Briscoe unit, man. Just let go and let God. Just listen to what God has for you. God has something here for you. I don't really know you, just met you, but I feel it. And thank you for that, because that was one of the best things. This chaplain here caught me in the education building. I don't really know you. Could you come in and talk to me for a minute? I went in his office, and I want to use you. I want to use you. I looked at you in the computer system, and wow, I see where you started out in the system, just terrible, closed custody, ag said. And here you are now, having an education. You're here for an educational reason. I want to use you. I want you to get off the sideline. And I did. And it was the best thing I could have done. I really thank you for that. Give you a little bit of testimony. Getting out of prison. Got reacquainted with my fiance. We have a 25-year-old son. We had him together before I got incarcerated. She reached out to me. We started corresponding. She started visiting. We started talking about the future. She was there with my mom and my brother when I exited Huntsville. And she's been with me, God bless her heart, to today. I know sometimes it's difficult, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know if any of you remember Jim Irvin. Jim Irvin was in this community coming out of New Brunswick. Me and Jim Irvin correspond, and we talk all the time. 9 days after my incarceration, I had a job. My parole officer said, I've never seen that. She didn't even believe it. She had to call, and the guy said, yeah, I hired him, and I'll need him here in the morning. Is there going to be a problem? I'll do whatever I got to do. I want him. I started working 9 days after I got out. I was on a monitor for 60 days, and I maintained that job. And after I got off the monitor, I continued to work in that job for about another month or two, and I went to my supervisor and I said, hey, this is a subcontracting job. It really don't have a 401k. He knew my story. I told him everything from day one. He said he understood. He would do anything he could to keep me there, but he would understand me and support me and give me a good reference. And if I need to come back, doors are always open. I got a job at Pilgrim's, JBS. It's a chicken facility. Went in, they were hiring for painters. Went in, I talked to the supervisor, and God has just blessed me to find favor. It's Him that gives me favor. I sit down in that office and I talked to that guy and I told him my whole story. And he was like, are you kidding me? Wow. He said, man, do you have a moment? I want you to meet my boss. And this guy was, at the time, the operational manager. He said, we got to go up into what they call the suits. This was a real elegant, they call it tech center. And I told him, yeah, I would. I don't have anything to do. In my mind, I'm like, are you kidding? I'll stay here all night. I'm trying to get this job. So we sat there and we talked, and a little bit, like an hour or 2 hours passed. And that manager texts back to him and he said, well, I know that guy's gone. What do you feel about it? If you want to hire him, we can hire him. And he texts back and he said, man, this guy's still sitting there. And he was like, really? And so I go up to his office. We sit down in his office. He sit back in the chair and he said, tell me about yourself. And I gave him my testimony. And he looked at that manager, that supervisor, and he said, what are we hiring him for? And he said, we needed some guys to paint. And he said, he's not going to paint. He said, and this is just blew me away. He said, what do we have that paid us the most money? And he said, we have mechanics, we start them out at $16.50. We have operators that we start out at $15 an hour. He looked at me and he said, I'm gonna let you make the decision. What do you wanna do? And I said, sir, I'm willing to prove myself. I will paint to prove to you who I am, and opportunity permits. He said, no, sir, you're not gonna paint. I want you in this company. I want you a part of this company. The painters are not part of this company. They're contractors. And I want you to be a part of our company. I want to hire you. He said, so I'm going to tell you what, take the mechanics job. And I said, sir, I really don't, I can learn anything. You give me an opportunity, you teach me, you give me the right person to train me, I can get it. But I don't know anything about mechanics. I don't want to tell you, so I didn't ask you that. I believe you. I sit here and I believe that you can do anything. So we're going to start you out as a mechanic for $16.50, and in 90 days, I'll give you a raise, because I believe in 90 days you've acquired what we need in this company to help it grow. Today, for that company, I am a supervisor. I'm over 14 people, and I run the maintenance department. I'm over electricians, and I'm over the mechanics. I've never been to electrician school. Everything I learned about electricity, I learned on that job. But God is good. God is an awesome God. And not only blessing me, He blessed my wife. She's been on her job for 26 years. She was a foreman. She got a promotion Wednesday when we left New Boston, Texas, from talking to Plentiful Harvest, the youth group, part of the Kairos community. We got home and we went home 15, 20 minutes. She got a text from her manager. He said, call me. His boss had told him to offer her a letter of supervisory, and told him what they would pay her. When she goes back Monday, she will be starting a new position.
Amen.
And not only that, my son, when I came home, he was working. We talked, we sat down, we talked, and it was by the ministry and the wise wisdom that was imparted to me through you by God. I was able to mend the broken relationship with my son and my daughter. We sat down and we talked. Today, my son is a supervisor in his job.
Amen.
My stepson, her son, is a foreman in his job. My daughter she's in transition to start another job, but she's been a supervisor. God is awesome. And He said that He will restore you. He has done that.
Amen.
He has done that full force. And I thank you. I thank you all. You're doing an awesome job. I know you're doing it for the right reason. You're doing it for God. And I'm just letting you know, those guys that are in that prison, they need you. There are some that might put on a hard shell, but they're not. They're broken men, and they need to know God's love, true love. That's all. Thank you.